Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our course vlogs. And this time we're out here at Morongo, Tukwet Canyon, and we're playing the Champions course today. And this is the back nine. If you're new to the channel, please click the subscribe button down below. I'd love to have you week after week. And don't forget to like this video at the end if you do like it. We'll see you out there on number 10. Here we go.
Starting here on the opposite side of the property from the front nine, number 10 is taking off straight up the hill, and straight away we're having a very tough and long par 4. Just like the rest of the golf course here, there is very wide open areas off the tee, and plenty of room to miss here off the right-hand side. Just make sure you're avoiding that bunker down the left. A big slope will keep any shots inside this hole if you miss just slightly off to the left or the right. And coming down the hill into this green, the green is going to be elevated from all the space around it, especially from those bunkers. They are very deep, and that back right hole location is a tricky and treacherous pin. Now, just a smooth driver here right down Main Street, but we've been losing a couple of them off to the right today, and this was no exception. Up here with the ball well above my feet, I'm going to have to choke up on the pitching wedge and just aim for the middle of the green here. But out of this very thick rough, I was just barely able to catch all of the golf ball and not quite able to land it on the green. Catching the greenside bunker here down short of it. You can see I'm 6'6" and I cannot see the surface of the green. These bunkers are very deep and you want to avoid them. Even here with an 8-foot par putt, you just can't roll it in, and it's going to be an unfortunate bogey to start off the back nine. And here we're heading into the longest hole on the golf course, over 600 yards here from the tips, 607. It's going to play a little bit shorter than the yardage, but coming into the green, it is very dramatic. Now off the tee, we're going to split these bunkers, and then this diagonal hazard is going to cut all the way across the fairway, and everybody's going to have to deal with it. Over the hazard, it's going to start sloping all the way up the hill to the green. The green sits a good 10-yard adjustment up from the fairway below it. This is a very long and tricky par 5. You really need to be precise on your approach, as this is a big false front heading all the way up the hill. Now, even though I was losing most of the shots off to the right, I chose to finally hit a little turnover draw and sent this one clear down to the moon. A good 340 off the tee. I actually had a reachable distance here with my 2-iron, just trying to get it up there somewhere on the green, and I landed just short into that false front that I was talking about. A very easy, relatively, chip shot here up and down. But unfortunately, I left the ball above the hole and not quite close enough to tap it in. And ultimately, leaving it above the hole cost us here. We're just going to have to settle for a comfy tap-in par. Here, the 12th hole is a very dynamic par 4. As off the tee, it is level with the tee box here, this part of the fairway. But once you get to those two cross bunkers, the fairway is going to start sloping dramatically down the hill, all the way down to the green. So if you can have your drive land over those bunkers, there's a chance that it could kick forward and catch that slope. And you'll find yourself down near the bottom of the fairway, about 60 yards from the green.
So I really hope the camera doesn't flatten this out too much, because this is a speed slot right here. And it is straight down to the green. I caught it with my drive. 425-yard hole. I got probably 50 yards left. Let's go.
Well, after catching the slope, there's only one thing left to do, and that's drop it next to the hole and give ourselves a look at birdie. or hit a mile behind the ball and leave it short of the bunker. Another fat shot. That was the second one on the day. Well, now we got to get up and down for par. Luckily, I almost holed that chip shot. Just 6 feet here left for par. It was tricky heading back down to this front hole location, but that was a salvaged par if I've ever seen one. And I just was stoked to get out of there alive. Now here, the 13th hole, lucky number 13, heading right back here next to Interstate 10. You're going to have some decisions to make off the tee. You can head all the way down the hill and avoid that central pot bunker down to that gigantic fairway. And you're going to have a blind shot coming all the way up the hill and over the canyon to the green. All of those bunkers will be facing you as it stacks on the hill heading up to the green. But if you have the distance, just go for it.
Oh, that's so good. If it's not there, I don't...
Landed on the green and rolled all the way back into the back rough. I had a very nasty lie up here on the hill. I did have some green to work with, though, and was able to trickle this one out to about 8 to 10 feet. We just got to roll it in to get this one back. I never even gave it a chance. Just bombed it on past the hole. Luckily, it was a relatively straight putt, and you can just line up these par putts sometimes and knock them right back in. Heading on to the most difficult hole on the front nine. It's really only difficult because of the distance, but that distance is deceiving. Heading all the way down the hill from the tee shot. A 490-yard par 4 is going to play more like 430, honestly. It's significantly down the hill. Avoid that bunker down the right off your tee shot. And honestly, you just really got to thread the needle, as typically you got some wind right in your face, making this drive a lot tighter than it seems. A gigantic deep bunker protects this green, and there's plenty of chipping area off to the right to bail. The driver was working beautifully for me here on the back nine, finally able to get that turnover draw working for me once again, and just salvaged it here down the right-hand rough. A simple pitching wedge here into the flag, and I just tried to avoid that tree and ended up going right through the leaves. I mean, I guess they say trees are 90% air. This ball flew all of its distance past the hole into a terrible lie, and I couldn't even get it on the green. Here from the fringe for par, sometimes you can roll in the 30-footers, but ultimately here we're just trying to curb any damage. No doubles today. We're looking to just have a nice clean card and keep it right around even par. Now the two par 3s that we're going to see here on the back nine are pretty brutal, and this one is the hardest of the bunch. 230 yards from the tips. It's going to play blind just slightly up the hill, and it's going to completely carry all the way up if you're going to aim for the flag. Now, if you're going to bail out to the right, there is fairway down there for you, but this time I took the flag directly on with this 5-iron and just barely hang it up here on the fringe. 15 feet ultimately for birdie. I did have a look at it, and I just couldn't quite get it there out of the fringe. Couldn't quite get that speed differential down. It's always awkward putting out of the fringe, don't you think? I know it is safer putting out of the fringe, but you just sometimes can't get that speed quite right, especially when the greens are running very, very quick. Now 16 here, the last par 5 on the golf course, is going to be a very deceiving par 5 off the tee and into the green. A blind tee shot off the tee. You're just going to have to pick that gigantic tree off the distance on the right and make sure you thread it down the middle of the fairway. Coming into the green, you have a decision to make. Over that little footbridge to the right is part of the fairway there, and you're going to have to avoid the bunker on your layup. But if you can aim for the green, you will have a clear visual for your second shot. Hopefully you have enough distance to get it there. Now again, just avoid those trees down the right-hand side as they line the edge of the hole, and you'll find the fairway somewhere down there. Only 211 yards to this flag. I'm just going to club down to my 6-iron, which is my 205 club, as this was a back flag and I did not want to miss long. Just aiming here for the center of the green. Gonna play for the comfortable 2-putt birdie. I'd love an eagle on this channel. Someday I think I'll get one to drop. But ultimately, you just gotta leave these ones to 6 feet, maybe even closer, and drop in the birdie putts when you have your chance. The last par 3 of the day, the gorgeous 17th hole here, sits right on the edge of this little cliffside and is soon to have a whole neighborhood off to the left. 199 yards from the tips, this is going to play a club downhill, about 15 to 20 yards adjusted down the hill. And today we are facing a front hole location. I tried to adjust properly for the downhill here, but I did get a flyer with the wind behind me. The ball sent it all the way to the back edge. Another slippery putt coming all the way back down towards this hole location here on the front of the green for just another comfy tap-in par. Finally, the closing par 4. Number 18 here is a gorgeous par 4 heading right back towards the clubhouse. A slightly blind tee shot. You're going to be able to see those bunkers down the right off the tee, so make sure you play your drive properly to the left or over them if you have the distance to do so. Now, if you have that much distance, you're also going to have to worry about that water down the left off the tee, let alone coming into the green. It will swallow up any disastrous shots that are going to sink on down to the left-hand side, as will that bunker and all the other bunkers surrounding this hole location. It's a bullseye hole location on the green, but if you miss anywhere, you're in the sand. Now I sent one last driver trying to cut this corner the best I could. Those bunkers really weren't in play for me at all, and I almost sent it through the fairway here. A blind shot ultimately here over the bushes. I could not see the green at all, and I pushed this one off to the right and into one of those greenside bunkers. Not quite as deep as some of the other ones you see on the course. This one's got plenty of sand though, and you can hit a nice, good bunker shot out of most of these. As long as you avoid those little pebbles, you're going to have a nice, makeable par putt heading up the hill.
Hey, a par to finish it off. It's not so bad. Make sure to click the subscribe button down below, and we'll see you next time.